Okay, this Samsung 43 has been waiting to be repaired for ages. Suddenly realised it's a lot newer than I thought. Well, that kind of tells us straight away what we're looking at. It's a backlight issue, but I'm quite surprised. This is not what you would class a terribly old TV, probably 5 years. I'll just show you the model number. Now, I didn't take much notice of this when I was doing the filming. I always thought this was a TU. Actually, this is only an AU. When I say only an AU, these were still being sold in the shops about 3 years ago. So I'm really surprised that this has failed. So it's a backlight problem. Whether the backlights have failed or not, I don't know. I doubt it. I rather think, and from what I remember, the connections were bad on these. So there's a chance. I mean, I've got a set of backlights for these if we need to stick a new set of backlights in. Screens are glued down on these, but they're not glued down to the screen. They're glued down to a bezel. I always have a little pop at Hisense screwing, yes, well, that probably would be better. Gluing their screens down to the screen itself, which is always a pain to try and get off. But Samsung screw theirs down to a bezel, so there's a chance actually I can just lift the bezel away on this because it's only a 43 inch. But it's slow and steady with these because, again, they are glued down, so you've got to be careful. Now, what you have to remember with these is, as I say, the screen is glued down to this part of the bezel. This part of the bezel is completely separate at the front, so I'm just taking the clips out. Then this front bit will come off, and then we can start to deal with the sides later. There we go. So that's that bit off. No need to disconnect the link cable on these. In saying that, I've never done a 43 inch. I've done a 55 inch on these models. I don't think I've ever done a 43 inch before, so it's still a learning curve for me. But I'm not going to disconnect the link because that should just come away there fine. That part started to come away really easy. Let's see if the back is the same. Yeah, it is. So do you see what I mean? The screen is glued down to this bezel bit. And if you can get this bezel off, and it looks like it's coming off fine, I don't know how I'm going to get this bit off. Oh, that's not glued. Good. That makes sense. You've still got to be very careful when handling these screens because they're not made with any weight or any depth. Lots of clips to play with. But I think now the whole screen, well, complete with bezel, may come away. So I'm going to lift it like I would any other screen, but the bezel's going to come with me, but it isn't. Let's still something keeping it at the back.
I tell you, there's nothing more frustrating than having the screen in your hand and you're ready to lift it and something else is stopping you. The best thing to do is to put it down and just find out what the problem is before it's too late.
Yeah, there's something glued at the back. Let's have a look. As I said, take it easy. That's not come away. Is it just there? Yes. Maybe one more. Here.
Now, my apologies, you can't really see this, but obviously I'm a little bit frustrated because it didn't come out first time. There's just one clip. I've missed one clip. That's all it was. And now I've managed to release that. We should be okay.
There are so many little clips around here. Again, definitely made not to be repaired, but the screen has come off. Don't know if it's come off uncracked or unscathed, but as you can see, it is there. That's looking fine. But all the little clips around here, every single one, you think you've got them all, and there's a couple at the back that were just latching on to this part. Just in case, you're probably thinking this is an edge-lit TV. It's not. It is backlit, and not very well. But there we go. Sorry you're getting a bit of flicker. I will. I ought to switch the other camera on. Only fair to you. Anyway, hopefully you can see better and not have the flicker. I'm just going to unplug the backlights from the power supply here. Then I can test the backlights and just see if they're going to light up. We may have some gone. I just don't think so on these. I always thought it was a connection issue. So putting a brand new set in may not solve too much. It may make them last a bit longer, but it may not solve the issue. Anyway, let's just have a look first. Positive and negative. This bottom strip, let's see what happens. All coming on. Middle strip, let's see what happens. All coming on.
Or so I thought. Just look at this one.
All coming on. So I'm just going to test. There's a fault on this top strip. It seems to be, oh yeah, there's one gone there. Okay. I didn't notice it, but I could tell the amps were jiggling around. So there is a fault on that top strip there. All right. Nice and simple. Let's put some new ones in.
Now, of course, I don't think I've worked on one of these before. This is only an AU and technically a few years old. I keep saying 5 years old, but I think now it's younger than that. I think it's only about 3 years old. I've worked on a couple of 55-inch AUs. They have similar backlights, but I can't remember how to get these strips out. So I'm just having a play here. Bear in mind, I can't cause any damage because these strips have got to come out anyway. I've got brand new ones to go in, and I soon learn that it's actually a lift and separate. Do you remember? Lift and separate. A bit like the old Playtex bra from the 1970s. Yeah, they're the ones.
Are all three exactly the same? Yeah, seems like it. Now, of course, the ones that I've got, the replacement ones, have another join in the middle.
The other thing I failed to mention, because I forgot to notice it, but I don't know if you've noticed, you don't have to take out the reflector sheet to put these in. That reflector sheet stays in. Hurrah! You just pin these new backlights over the top of the reflector sheet. A fantastic invention.
Seems pretty secure.
Of course, all they have to do now is learn how to slide backlights in from the back of the TV instead of taking the screen. Oh, okay. I'm over it. I'm over it. Got to make sure that they're all fastened down. Obviously. And just clip and push these in. Well, the first set went in lovely. No, very nice and easy. These, not so. Why? Why aren't these going in lovely? I don't know. That middle strip just does not want to go in. Let me just see how I get on with this bottom strip. Yep, bottom strip goes in fine. So I don't know why I'm struggling with this middle strip. Oh. Yeah, but they've not gone in. Maybe they have. Just plug the backlights back in. Now, of course, normally to test these you would disconnect the main board from the power supply, but you can't. It's kind of hardwired. Well, I could unscrew it and unclick it, but a bit of a faff really. Just plug it in and see what happens. Something might happen, something might not. Something happens. You're seeing lots of pretty colours and lines and stuff. I mean, I'm looking on 3 different cameras here and they're all the same, even though they've settled down a bit now. Now they've gone to full brightness. There we are. Okay.
Let's see if we can get everything back together. So you've got to be careful. I need to push this down, but that's the screen. Okay, it seems to have gone in. Bit of fettling needed afterwards. I think that's in. Just got to get this in, which goes over that bit there.
There is a strong argument for saying that this TV should not have failed after 3 years, and the customer should have returned it to the store and stamped their feet. I don't remember where I got this from, but I did get it free of charge. But really, failing so soon is very poor, and normally, under the terms and conditions and all those things we argue about, the store should have sorted this for the customer.
Clipping this bit in here is an absolute nightmare. I mean, an absolute nightmare. I'm going to be very surprised and pleased if this screen has not received any damage putting that back, because it wasn't pleasant. That wasn't a nice job to do. It just wasn't, but you know, I've only ever done one of the... Well, I've done a 55, and I remember that was a pain. Anyway, stop moaning. The question is, did the screen get damaged at all? Let's switch it on. I'm not convinced. Well, that bit looked okay, but that was just that bit. Got away with it. No lines. Okay. I'll give it a clean up. I'm not happy with the way some of the bezel's gone on the front. But as I say, it's only a TV that I'm going to be using as a monitor. It is a smart TV, but is it quite a yeah, it is quite a well, as I say, 5 or 6 years old. It's a TU. But anyway, we've got it working now. I just need to find out why that bottom bezel hasn't gone on correctly and sort that. It's one of those things you just need to sometimes walk away from, because you find it quite irritating, because it's just a bit sticking up there. Unless it's an optical illusion, but I don't think it is. Maybe there's a clip broken on there and it's never going to go back, but I don't think so. I shall continue to play with that at a later date. But it was a backlight job. I'm quite surprised the backlights had gone. I was always led to believe it was the connections on these, but not on this occasion. We have managed to get it going again. Yippee!
Now, I don't always show the finished product. In other words, when I've actually screwed the TV back together and put the feet back on and given it another test for a few hours inside, but just to prove that this TV did come out okay in the end. In fact, it came out very well. Whether it was whether it was worth the hassle or not, you've got to be very patient with these. They're not meant to be repaired. Deep breaths and all that, but it's worked on this occasion.